I am sure that many of you have asked yourself the question, what would RuneScape be like if it had horses? In my opinion, this question belongs to the category sailing. It would make a lot of sense to have this content in the game, but because it would be such a big change to the game, it never happened. In this video, I will discuss what the possibilities would be if horses did exist in RuneScape. How could we use them in the game? Now, before I really get into this, I want to say that I'm not asking for this to actually happen. I just wanted to make a video on it for fun to theorize about the possibilities. Okay, so the first question I will ask, don't horses already exist in the game? Well, of course we have unicorns, but I suppose they don't count. And as far as we know, there's never been seen an actual horse in-game. However, there are a few references to horses in RuneScape. For example, when you ride the cart from Brimhaven to Shiloh Village, you can read the following text in the chat box. You hop into the cart and the driver urges the horses on. You take a taxing journey through the jungle to Shiloh Village. So yes, RuneScape confirms that horses do exist. Now that we know this, I think it's time to start theorizing about the way we could implement actual horses into the game. It could be a skill, for example horse riding, which has always been a very popular subject, but it could also be used as a new way to quick travel between cities, like Shiloh Village, the example I just gave you, or probably the most boring option, simply as an NPC that you can kill. Alright, so let's get back to horse riding. What if this would become an actual skill? Then what would we use it for? Number 1. Travel speed. I know we can already run and teleport with magic, but horse riding could be a nice meeting in the middle. So let's do some maths. What is the difference between walking and running? We know that when you run, you move twice as fast as when you walk. So in the time you walk 1 tile, you run 2. Now what if on a horse you would ride 3 tiles? In this clip I am running, but I sped up the clip by 50%. This would match the speed of riding a horse according to my calculations. Now of course in this clip it looks a bit silly, but horses are obviously faster than people, so it would make sense. Number 2. Inventory space. You often see in movies that horses carry stuff for people. Imagine this in-game. You're cutting some logs in the woods and store an extra inventory to your horse. Ride back to the bank and store 2 inventories at once. Number 3. Combat. Horses are pretty strong too, but now it's really starting to feel like summoning, and that is not meant to be the purpose of this skill, I guess. So maybe combat wouldn't be a good idea. But seriously guys, how cool would it be to train your horse? Speaking of training, how would you train a skill like this? It could be compared to agility, for example, having to do certain park courses or simply mounting your horse for a certain amount of time. But this is something that needs to be thought through more, something I will leave to our imagination in this video. So far I'm loving this concept, but could horse riding cause any problems? Unfortunately, yes. You know, when you sit on a horse, your character would be much bigger and higher. This would make it unrealistic to go inside buildings or stuff like that. So if you'd be able to ride horses, it needs to be limited to stay outside cities and buildings only. So if you can ride horses in specific areas like woods or on the beach or, I don't know, in the mountains, it might actually work. Okay, I must admit, adding horse riding as a skill is probably going to be quite difficult. Let's take it one step back to traveling between cities. I mean, we have flying carpets, eagles, charter ships and many more other ways to travel. In my opinion, it would be pretty cool to have stables outside all the big city gates. You simply pay a fee and travel to another town. It would be great for newer players that can't teleport yet, and let's be honest guys, it would feel so great to be able to travel by this method. It could be done exactly the same way as the Shiloh Village example, but perhaps this time show the actual horse. I mean, we have dogs and cats too in the game. Simply remove the unicorn horn and ta-da, we have a horse. Honestly, I can see this happen. Put some stables in Varrock, Falador, Lumbridge and maybe even other areas and we're good to go. Well, last but not least, there is another way to implement horses into the game, and that would be by making them NPCs, or actually just monsters to kill. This would be the most boring option in my opinion though, and I don't really see the benefit of doing this. Unless they could maybe drop a horseshoe for some luck or whatever. But oh well, never mind about that. Alright, so that is all for now. What do you think of this idea? Do you think horses could actually be the new big thing in RuneScape? Please let me know. Also, if you have any other video suggestions, do not hesitate to share your ideas. Maybe I will discuss it on my channel in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and if you did, feel free to leave a like. It would be much appreciated. I would like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.